Hi class, today we are on Saxon Math Book 3, Lesson 94, and we're going to talk more about compatible numbers. So for my first example, I have 76 plus 73. Typically, if we were estimating, we would want to round these to the nearest round number, but when we're using compatible numbers, we're recognizing that both of these are really close to being 75. And 75 is a number that we like to work with because 75 cents is 3/4, and that's something we can kind of count by and figure out easily in our head. So once we change both of these to the compatible number of 75, we can either add our ones and then add our tens, or we can think of them both as being 3/4. So I have 3/4 or 75 cents here. I have 3/4 or 75 cents here. And if I put those sets of 3 together, I'd have 6/4, which would give me $1.50, or in this case, there's no decimal point, so we're talking about 150 as our estimate, or our super close answer. All right, my next example is a multiplication problem. So we have 26 times 4. Again, we could round it to 30 and then do our multiplication, but we want to start recognizing that 26 is really, really close to 25, and 25 is one of those compatible numbers that we like working with. So here, 25 times 4, if we have 4/4, we have 100 cents, and there we go. There's our compatible number estimate. All right, so in the book, example 1 has several problems, so we're going to look at them all together. So the first one is $10.78 plus $2.24. So in the past, we would have rounded these to the nearest whole dollar. But we can get a closer estimate if we round them to the nearest quarter. So I want you to remember that if we count by quarters, we're counting by 25. So we have 25, 50, 70, 75, and then we would have the next dollar. So here we're looking at 78 cents. What's that really close to? It's really close to 75 cents. So we're going to not really round it, but we're going to change it to its close compatible number of $10.75. Then here, 24 cents. Which one's that really close to? The 25 cents. So we'll change this to its compatible number of $2.25. And then here, if I'm adding 3/4 plus 1/4, I'm going to get $1. Plus I have $10 here, so that's 11. Plus I have $2 here, so my answer is $13. So 1078 plus 224 is approximately $13. All right, the next one we're going to look at is part B of example 1. This one has 294 plus 74 plus 322. So this one's not money, but we can still use the concept of 25, 50, 75, $1. 294, look at that 94. It's closest to the next whole dollar. I took the decimal away because we don't have any decimals here. So it's closest to the next 100. So 294, we will in fact round to 300, plus 74, its closest compatible number, I made that a little too low, is 75, plus 322, its closest compatible number is going to be 25. So we'll change that to 325. And then we do the same thing. We recognize, hey, 75 plus 25 gives me another 100. So I have 100 from this plus this. Plus I have 300s here. So that's a total of 400. Plus I have 300s here. So my total would be approximately 700. The last part of example 1 is a subtraction problem. We have $10 minus $5.72. Again, we'll use compatible numbers. This one's already a whole number, so we leave that be. But $5.72, 72, which compatible number is it closest to? It's closest to 75. So we want to do $10 minus $5.75. So basically, I'm going to think $6, right? Because 5.75 rounds up to 6. So $10 minus $6 gives me $4 whole dollars. Plus, I have some change. That last dollar here, if I take away 75 cents of it, I have 1/4 left. So $4.25 would be my approximate answer. All right, example 2 says use compatible numbers to estimate the cost of 4 board games at $24 each. So each board game is $24. We want 4 of them. So that's 4 groups of $24. And we're going to use compatible numbers. So 24 here, that's really close to 25. So we'll say, well then, what's 25 times 4? 4 quarters is 100 cents, or in this case, it's $25. So our answer would be approximately $100. All right, that's the end of the examples. I do have some lesson practice problems for you. So the first one says estimate the product of 249 times 4. You're going to estimate the product of this. Put me on pause, try this one on your own, and then come on back when you're ready to see the answer. So we're going to round 249. That's really, really close to 250. We found a round number, but we're also using those compatible numbers with the 25, 50, 75, $1. And we want to multiply times 4. Well, let's ignore that 0 for now. What is 25 times 4? It's 100. But we have this 0 as well, so we need to add that onto our answer, and our answer would be 1,000. We could also just count by 250. We could say 250, 500, 750, 1,000. Either way, we're just doing the work in our head, and that's the whole point behind estimating and using compatible numbers, is to get really close answers that we can figure out in our head. We want to make math easier for when we're standing in a store and trying to figure out the price of something, or when we're trying to use math in everyday life. Sometimes we don't have to be super precise. Sometimes we do. You don't want to be an architect building a building and rounding your numbers, because you're probably going to end up with a building that won't stand. You don't want to be a doctor or a scientist or an engineer who's rounding in their job and their work, because they won't have good products. But for just your everyday person who's trying to do math while they're standing in the grocery store, or do math while they're figuring out bills and things at home, sometimes we can round and all we need is a close answer, not an exact answer. All right, problem B is a word problem, so I'm going to read that one to you twice. When Alita walks her dog, she travels 1 mile in 24 minutes. About how long would it take Alita to walk 2 miles? One more time. When Alita walks her dog, she travels 1 mile in 24 minutes. About how long would it take her to travel 2 miles? Pause here. Try that one on your own. Okay, so you should have tried it on your own. Remember, it's about, so we can use the compatible number of 25, and we want to know not 1 mile, but 2 miles. So 25 times 2, 2550. So it would take her about 50 minutes to walk 2 miles. All right, the next problem says estimate the difference of 678 and $354. Estimate the difference. Pause here, try that one on your own, and then come back when you're ready to see the answer. So we're estimating the difference. You have to know, what are we doing to find the difference? Difference is the answer to a subtraction problem. So we want to use the compatible number 78. That's really close to 75. So we'll say 675 minus 354. That's really close to 350. And 75 minus 50 is 25. 600 minus 300 is 300. So our answer is 325. All right, boys and girls, that's the end of today's lesson. It is time for you to do your written practice, which can be found on page 510 of your textbook. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you again soon.